The New York Jets and Justin Fields with the starting offense played only 10 snaps in the game against the Green Bay Packers, but it did result in a touchdown on their lone drive. We're going to dive into the X's and O's tonight on this episode. I'm fired up. Let's get into it.
Bring that here, all right? Go out there and press them and choke them out.
What's going on, Jets fans? It's your boy DT back with the first of hopefully many X's and O's film reviews of Justin Fields and the New York Jets offense. I'm really excited for this one. Hope you guys are too. I know it's a couple days late. I wanted to do this film review on Wednesday. Then I ended up having a guest who was supposed to join me yesterday. Then I had a scheduling issue where I had to move that guest to Sunday. So we are doing the film review tonight. We're going to get into all 10 plays of Justin Fields and the offense's first and only drive with all the starters in. It resulted in a touchdown, so a lot of positivity there. And then Sunday morning, Emery Hunt of Football Game Plan is going to join me at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning to recap everything from Jets-Giants week. He was in attendance at both practices. He has a lot of good takeaways and a really hot Jets take that I think you guys will enjoy. So with that, I'll shout out a couple people in the chat and we'll dive right into the film room. All right. Bill M, what's up? Chris B, I appreciate you as well. Who else we got? Jets Worldwide in here. Leo's Dogs. That's a new name. I appreciate it. Thanks. I like my intro too. Shout out to Gator. Yeah. So with that, we're just going to jump right into the film room. As you guys know, I'm a pretty big X's and O's junkie, but I have something special in my Epic pen here, so I'm going to be able to draw up a lot of these schemes. So as you can see, we're just going to play around with it here, a little bit of color. Everything's working. This is the very first play. We're going to go in chronological order. There's no skips, no anything like that. I'm going to show the run plays and the pass plays, talk through everything in the film, see what I like, see what I didn't like, what we can build upon going forward in this preseason and regular season. So fired up for this one. I hope you guys enjoy it. The very first play, the Jets come out in a 2x2. So you have two eligibles to the left, which are Jeremy Ruckert and Alan Lazard. And then on your opposite side, you have Josh Reynolds and Garrett Wilson. So you're in a 2x2 set. Single back, just one single back in the backfield, Breece Hall. And they're going to do right away the first thing that I wanted Garrett Wilson to do a lot more of last year, but Aaron Rodgers didn't like. They're going to get Garrett Wilson in motion across the formation. They're going to get him moving all around. Every play essentially had some kind of movement from Tanner Engstrand and the New York Jets, primarily moving around Garrett Wilson. So really excited for that one. We're going to play it through here full, and then I'll draw up on the end zone angle where you can see more of the run schemes. So we'll play it through here. Garrett in motion across from right to left. You see the safeties rock and roll. Breece hits the proper hole, only gets about 3 yards. We'll pull it into the end zone angle here. You'll see right across, Garrett Wilson coming across. So here's Garrett coming in motion. He's going to move from the right to the left, which means that 33, this safety, is going to come down into the box as this safety, number 39, exits the box. We're going to call that rocking and rolling the safeties, all right? So they rock and roll the safeties. They go from one high to one high. They just flip who that one high responsibility is. Garrett finishes his motion. You see it's not man-to-man because everybody kind of moved together from their left to right. So you could tell that that was the zone man indicator that Engstrand was trying to establish. But on this play specifically, it looks like an outside zone, and you're going to get Armand Membu, number 70, right here, and AVT working together on Lucas Van Ness and then AVT has to break it off and work up to the second level. You see Josh Myers one-on-one with Kenny Clark, and then you see Joe Tittman and Devonta Wyatt here with Olu Fashanu coming to help. And what that's going to do is free up Tittman to get to Isaiah McDuffie. And this right here, where Tittman goes to go get Isaiah McDuffie, is where I believe the play didn't go wrong, but it could have been better. So we'll play it through in a little bit of a slower speed here, and I'll explain exactly what I'm talking about. So you see Devonta Wyatt with his left hand on Joe Tittman's right shoulder right here. And what he's going to prevent Joe Tittman from doing is climbing to 58, allowing him a free access on Breece Hall. So we'll play it through slow. Now he's got his hand inside the pads. So it's not defensive holding, although right here, that looks like defensive holding to me. I'm not sure how they call it in the trenches, but that looks like he's got his hand firmly inside the collar of Joe Tittman, disallowing him to get off the block and move up to 58. So we continue playing it through slow. Now it really looks like a hold on Tittman, right? Like that hand is firmly on the collar of Tittman, and you can see he's trying to fight off it to get to 58. So here we go again. Breece hits the right hole. In my opinion, Breece hits the right hole here. You have walled off here from Membu and AVT, a wall off here from Josh Myers on Kenny Clark. But if Tittman was able to get to McDuffie right here, which he's not allowed to do, he would have stopped the entire play from happening. So unfortunately, it's just a missed assignment, I would call it, for Joe Tittman, although I feel like it was Devonta Wyatt who stopped it from happening. So 58's able to scrape off and get to Breece Hall there. Not sure why that's not deleting from the screen. Let's try to delete it. Okay, that circle's not going to delete itself. Wonderful. So we will continue. Hopefully that goes away on the next slide. Oh, okay. It's not going to go away. We're going to have to figure out why that circle is not going away on the screen. But that was play one. I'm sure everybody would say Breece Hall missed the hole or what have you. But I don't think that's the case. And this yellow circle is not going away, and that's really frustrating. So we're gonna play through it, play through injury. This yellow circle, I don't know why it won't disappear. So we have the second play, another run play from Breece Hall. This time they line up in 1x3. So you see one eligible to the top, that's Josh Reynolds. You see two tight ends attached to the formation, Ruckert and Beck, and then Garrett isolated down the bottom. This is what I call wing right formation. So you basically just have your two tight ends attached to the line of scrimmage. There it goes. It went away. So they flip this. They call a shift. And again, like I said, Engstrand has motion or shift on every single play of this opening drive. So they get set. They immediately shift to wing left. And then you get the motion down from Josh Reynolds. And it looked like he was going to stop his route or stop his motion right here. And Fields has him. No, you want to come all the way through. So Josh Reynolds on a motion. So now we have motion, a shift motion. Like I said, Engstrand's going to get a lot of these guys moving. You notice nobody in the middle moved here. Nobody went with Josh Reynolds. The corner stayed on his side. This safety is going to back out a little bit into more of a too high look. And we'll play it through here. This is the play everybody wanted to talk about. Breece hitting the wrong hole, and we'll go through it on the back end. Clearly, it's not a pretty run, right? He kind of goes into the back of, it looked like Fashanu and Tittman, maybe Fashanu and Ruckert here. But you see the shift to wing left, the motion down. Now, from what I've understood, is it seems like the Jets have this blocked up pretty well. So you're going to count, and it's simple counting. You have from the center, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on your side. Now let's count the green shirts. 1, 2, 3. My pen stopped working. 3, 4, and 5. So you have it blocked up right. It's just a missed assignment. And in my opinion, it comes between somebody in these 3 units, whether it's the 2 tight ends or Fashanu. I don't think it was Fashanu, but we'll play it through and I'll give you my thoughts. Reynolds moves in motion. So Fashanu cracks down on Kenny Clark here. You have Tittman engaged with Kenny Clark. And then you have Fashanu coming to help. But Myers also comes to help. So maybe this is Myers' wrongdoing, right? In my opinion, because the center is uncovered, right? What uncovered means is there's nobody shaded or head up on Josh Myers. So I would assume that he has that free block up to 58. And then you get a combo block here between Tittman and Fashanu. And then you have the tight ends kind of sift out everything on the backside. That's just my opinion. I'm not a run mechanic expert, but I would like to think that somebody on the Jets just didn't do their job right here. So now you have 5 hands on Kenny Clark here. 5 hands is just way too many. Josh Myers is going to work up to the second level, but it looks like he's keying in on 56, Edger and Cooper. So maybe somebody else like Tittman is supposed to work off Kenny Clark's block and get up to 58. Maybe Tittman is the guy right here who's supposed to get to Isaiah McDuffie, and Josh Myers is supposed to go this way, because then you have 1, 2, 3. And if you have Breece Hall versus Carrington Valentine on the outside, that's a matchup that I'm okay with. That's what you want, right? You want your corners to come up and have to make a play in the run game. We'll continue playing it through slowly. Again, we have a wall here from Beck, and then we have a wall here from Rucker. It's not a great hole, and it's not a wide hole. It's clearly not as wide as what this hole would have produced for Breece Hall. But again, I talked about this earlier in the week, and I do think that the coaching staff has asked Breece Hall to be more just get into the hole. Don't dance in the backfield. Don't try to do that Le'Veon Bell-esque style of running. Just hit the hole and go. And I think that's exactly what Breece did here. Now, I don't think it was the best, because clearly he ran into just the back of Jeremy Ruckert. So, yes, I will blame Breece for running into Ruckert here. But I do think he ran into the proper hole. Yes, I understand, and you can see it from here. That cutback lane is as wide as a truck. And, you know, maybe in years past, Breece Hall would have came around and found that cutback lane. But in my opinion, I think he hit the hole he was supposed to hit. He just didn't do it well. And you can't run into the hip of Jeremy Ruckert like that. So I will not excuse Breece for that part of it. But when it comes to the right or wrong hole, I do think he got the right one there. Just needs to be better. The third play, we have another 2x2 stack. So you're going to see Johnson and Ruckert here in a stack. And then you're going to see Reynolds and Wilson up to the top of your screen. Again, they're going to shift Garrett Wilson across. They like having him in motion. They shift across, see nobody goes with them. And now you have a bunch on the right, a bunch tight right, and we'll play the play through. Safety drops back. They roll the coverage. Looks like cover 3. Easy check down to Tyler Johnson for a nice first down pickup on 3rd and 5. Justin Fields, one of the most efficient passers on 3rd down. One of the most efficient quarterbacks, I shouldn't even say passers, because he can do it with his legs as well, as we'll see later on in this video. So what the concept is it looks like Garrett is running like an over clear route. You're going to have Ruckert come in behind with a basic, and then you're going to have Tyler Johnson hook sit right in front of the quarterback. And a lot of people will say, A lot of people will say that Justin Fields should have went deep on his first drive with the New York Jets against the Green Bay Packers. I don't believe that's the case. I think there were plays designed where he could have a deep shot, but I also think he was smart enough to take the check down more often than not. So Garrett right here is going from Justin's right to left. You see him on the right hash right here. He's going to finish running his clear out, but he's going to run it right behind these three defenders. Is Fields supposed to layer the ball over three defenders' heads between this guy and this single high safety? I don't think he's supposed to do that. In all honesty, I don't think that would be good quarterbacking. So we keep playing it. Sure, he could have. The ball's already out of Justin's hands. Let's be honest about this. First and foremost, the ball is out of Justin's hands. Yes, people will stop the play right here and say, but Garrett, he's wide open. You got to hit Garrett. Yeah, sure. But the ball is already out of Justin Fields' hands. And it's going to Tyler Johnson, who is wide freaking open. Look at the cushion he has between him and these linebackers. Every linebacker sunk. Look at the play. It's 3rd and 5. They're 10 yards deep, 12 yards deep in their zone coverage. So I like the fact that Justin took the check down, took the smart play, lived to see another set of downs. And that's exactly what he did. You need 5, you get 6. I like that style of quarterback play. It is a little bit boring, but also it's important to have the small things go right for your quarterback. See it from the end zone angle. Garrett comes in a shift to 3-by-1. Look at this. First of all, look at this pocket. I understand you get help from Isaiah Davis on the left-hand side here, so you really have 6 blockers for 4 rushers. And it looks like they bring some kind of DB blitz. That looks like Javon Bullard, coming off the edge there. So you have four rushers. I guess that would be like a simulated pressure. And then you have 58, 90, who's a D lineman dropping back, and then 39, all occupying this same area. Like Fields, when he loads up to throw, Garrett's not even looking back at Justin Fields. So for everybody saying Fields needs to just hit Garrett, he wouldn't have been ready for the throw, and it would have had to go right down this line here, which would have been most likely intercepted by number 58. So I like Justin Fields' decision. Look at Tyler Johnson is sitting right in front of him. His eyes are on him. Justin's eyes are clearly on Tyler Johnson, and you're going to take the easy check down. So there it is, 4 or 5 yards of cushion between him and the next defender. Sure, if Justin held on to the ball a second longer, he might have been able to hit one of these 2 deeper receivers. And we'll get into a little bit more of why I think that happened. But again, Garrett wasn't looking back at Fields. I don't think Ruckert was looking back at Fields at the time of the throw. So to me, that would tell you maybe Justin Fields is going through his drop back a little too quickly. And that is almost eliminating some reads for him. I'm not going to confirm that as the truth. I want to see more of a sample size. But on this one play, I do think Justin got a little through his drop back. Ready? He gets the ball, hops, 1, 2, 3. He's at the back of his drop. Somebody's supposed to be open in the timing of this offense when he's ready to throw. Like, he looks ready to throw it right now, and nobody's looking at him. Look, Johnson's not looking at him. Garrett's not looking at him. I can bet you that Jeremy Ruckert's probably not looking at him either. So protection is great. He may have had an extra second to hold on to it, but maybe there's an element of going too fast through his drop that is disallowing him to see every read inside the progression. We'll keep moving on. Another pass play. We have another 3-by-1 set, a condensed set. So that's what another thing about Angstrand that I love is the condensed formations. Everything is very tight. You don't have a ton of guys split way out wide. Like Rodgers would have a guy here, he'd have a guy here, he'd have the tight end as a sniffer, and then he'd have a guy way out here isolated as an X. No, I like this. These bunches and stacks. So a bunch is basically 3 eligibles tight together like this, and then a stack, which once Garrett shifts over, you're left with a stack. So a stack would just be 2. And shout out to Stack. I'm sure he's in the chat or will be soon. Shout out to Stack. But that's what I consider a stack is 2 eligibles almost overlapping, but one in front of the other, almost in like a line. So that's a stack. And what it was before was a bunch. So stack 2, bunch 3. They shift Garrett over, and now you have a 2x2 formation. We're going to see. Oh, this is the out route. Okay, so this is the out route by Garrett Wilson. He's going to run an out. Ruckert is going to run a stick, which is basically a hitch with the option to go out on man-to-man coverage. If it's zone, he's going to just sit in the zone. If it's man, he's going to try to bring his man or run away from his man. So we're looking down here at this concept. If we're talking about the top concept too, it is a spacing scheme. Excuse me, that was hard to say. But basically, you just have a hook sit here. This guy does a hook sit here, and Breece does a swing. So basically, this play, if you draw it up in totality, would be called stick spacing. You have stick to the play side, which is Garrett and Ruckert. And then you have spacing to the top, which is Johnson, Reynolds, and Breece. So we'll play this through. Stack in the chat. What's up? I see you, bro. We'll play it through. Garrett gets cushion. To me, this looks like man-to-man, but I think it's cover 3, to be honest. Just the way the linebackers backed up. Like, you can maybe make an argument that this guy is in man-to-man and this guy is in man-to-man, but I think it's zone coverage because this guy kind of drops back. I think this guy's playing like a third, and a third. So I think it's cover 3 with 4 underneath defenders for the Packers. Either way, Justin does see it. Look, Justin's already loading up to release this ball. He's got the ball. He's about to separate his hands. And he just misses Garrett a little outside. Now, there's plenty of possibilities on this play, right? So I look at the depth at which Ruckert turns around just about here, right? 5 yards, maybe 6 yards, he starts his turn, okay? Garrett is 1 to 1.5 yards deeper on his cut than Ruckert is. Now, we play it through. If Garrett Wilson is on this same line as Jeremy Ruckert and not 2 yards deeper than Jeremy Ruckert, this is a complete pass. So I'm not going to blame Wilson for running the wrong route, and I'm not going to blame Fields for throwing a bad pass because I don't know who is to blame, but the connection is not working. For whatever reason, this is, a couple times there's practice clips of Fields missing Garrett and missing other open throws, but the ones to Garrett specifically seem very off for whatever reason. And again, I'm not going to blame one or the other. I think it's a combination of both at this point. But if Garrett's running that route at 5 to 6 yards, he doesn't have to lay out for this. And it's a catchable ball where he's able to get his feet in bounds and potentially turn up field and even gain a couple yards after the catch. So I'm not going to blame Justin. I'm not going to blame Garrett, but I do think there's a miscommunication here in the way that Garrett's reading the playbook or the way that Fields loaded up to throw, thinking that Garrett was going to be a little closer than he was. We'll play it through one more time, full speed. Just let the whole thing go. Garrett moves over. They rotate the safety down. Yeah, I truly think if they were running at the same depth, that would have been an easy completion for Fields to Wilson. So, unfortunately, yes, Jets Worldwide looks like attention to detail by the wide receiver right now. I do agree. And not to harp on the Aaron Rodgers era too much, but Aaron Rodgers was the type of quarterback where if you weren't exactly where the ball was supposed to go, he wasn't going to throw it to you. He was just going to look you out of the progression. And to your point, Incel Allen, who's at fault on this play? Only the coaches know. Yeah, exactly. But we're going to go through the film, and I'm going to provide multiple different angles because I'm tired of the Twitter discourse of, oh, Fields is a terrible passer, or he can't hit, the broadside of a barn. Like all these little comments about Justin Fields on a simple out route, I don't think are accurate. And I think there's more nuance to it. And unfortunately, it just didn't result in a good play. So unfortunately, that's part of the connection problem between Fields and Garrett that I hope gets worked out. But for now, we just got to let it be. It's a bad play. We're not going to throw any shade at either one. Again, bad play. Number 5, halfway through the drive here, we're going to get another pass play. Brilin Allen in the backfield. Arian Smith lined up at the bottom of your screen. So they're going to come out again in a wing left. So you're going to see Ruckert and Beck attached to the line of scrimmage. Garrett isolated, Arian Smith isolated to the bottom. They're going to shift over Beck to a 2x2. And they're going to run a play action. And on this play action, Arian Smith is running a deep post. And Garrett is running a deep over. So it's basically play action deep cross is what I've learned it to be known as most simply. It's, I believe, just a 3-man route. I believe, Ruckert stays in to block. Oh, no, Beck does check out. He is the hook in the middle of the field. And Brilin, I don't think, goes out on a route. So, play action deep cross. Okay, they do. So we have Garrett in his over. We have Arian Smith running a post. We have Ruckert in the flat. We have Brilin in the flat. And we have a hook sit by Andrew Beck. Again, we'll play it through, get to the point where Justin throws the ball. He's getting ready to throw. Okay? There's 5 eligible receivers on this play. How many of them are looking at Justin Fields right now ready for a pass to be delivered to them? Only one, and it's the one who got the ball, Andrew Beck. Braylon's not looking. Ruckert, I don't know what he's looking at. Garrett is looking at, looks like the single high, or the safety over here on the right side, and Arian Smith is still in the middle of his route. So the logical answer, to me at least, is hit your check down, live to see another play. Again, the ball is out of Justin Fields' hands already, and now your check downs are looking. You have Brilin looking, you have Ruckert looking, but neither of your deep receivers are looking. So even if there was a potential for the deep ball, those guys weren't ready for the pass. Again, is it Fields going through his drop back too fast? Is it just a small timing issue with the quarterback and the receivers? Preseason week 1, but those are the things to me that need to get worked out. But again, if you have this easy path, look, he's standing on the same hash line as Justin Fields, and he's 14 yards off the ball? That is the easiest decision, in my opinion, for Justin Fields to make that throw. So he hits him, turns upfield, boom, easy gain for Andrew Beck. We'll see it from the back angle, and you'll see it again. You won't be able to see any of the eligibles except for Beck. None of them were looking at Fields, as I pointed out. But look how easy this throw is. First of all, you have Edgerrin Cooper slipping on the turf down here to the bottom. But look at this throw. Fields is clearly right in his line of vision. They're standing on the same hash marks. It's the easiest throw. He's got, almost 7 yards of separation this way, 7 yards this way. He's got 5 yards to this defender here. There's so much space for Andrew Beck to work with. Turn, cut it upfield, and go. It doesn't help that Edgerrin Cooper slips in his pursuit, but the Jets being able to take advantage of something like that is actually pretty impressive. Like, they normally don't do those types of things. So, a little bit of a positive after the Garrett Wilson incompletion. Play number 6. We have outside zone to Brilin Allen. This is the huge rushing lane for Brilin Allen. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is not the same play that they ran with Breece. Again, the bones are the same. You're going to get a motioned receiver to try to, get the defense to give up a key on if it's man or zone. And then you're just going to get zone blocking working from their right to left across the board. Oh, excuse me, from their left to right. I'm sorry, I had it inversed. So you see Ruckert and Membu attacking this end man on the line of scrimmage, and Membu is going to work up. You have AVT in a single block. You have Tippmann and Myers on the nose tackle, and Myers is going to work up. And then you have Fashanu coming across to the second level defender. What I do like about this play that's a little different than the last one, and I'll rewind it so we can all see it, is Allen Lazard, ladies and gentlemen. Allen Lazard is the top man in that stack right here with Josh Reynolds. And he's going to motion down, and he's going to crack block, or seemingly like a crack block, on Kingsley Enagbare, the end man on the line of scrimmage. So I love this aspect of the offense from Tanner Engstrand, is the wide receivers getting dirty right in the middle of the field. So you see Lazard motioning across, and it looks like he's just going to motion all the way across. And Kingsley Enagbare right now is not even paying attention to Lazard, but you can see Lazard's eyes are on him. He gets just enough of a little shoulder on him, right? And that's all he needed to do. If you lose slowly, blocking like this, if you're Allen Lazard, and losing slowly is a term that I've heard a lot of people use, losing slowly is not a bad thing, because by the time he loses the rep, look where Brilin is. He's already past him. So it doesn't matter. All he did was he did his job. Yeah, Stack. It's a box out essentially, but it's like a motion with like a crack. So it's almost like a crack block, but it is, yes, to your point, it is a box out. But Allen gets the free run. That's the first point of contact for him, is the 45-yard line. He gets that ball at the 39-yard line. So he goes 11 yards. He goes almost 16 yards untouched here. Obviously, a lot of that yards is behind the line of scrimmage, so it doesn't count as an 18-yard gain, but 16 yards until his first point of contact, where unfortunately that safety takes a really bad angle, takes a knee to the helmet, and I think he left with a concussion or a possible knee injury on that play. So not a great look from the safety. We'll see it from the back end, and I'll draw it up a little bit. You have Ruckert and Membu's supposed to work here. AVT, you have a duo here, and Myers is going to work, and then you have Fashanu come here, and then off the screen you'll see Lazard come and win on the box out there. Play it through. Lazard in motion. Everybody moves from their right to left, from our right to left, and I'll call this elephants on parade. When you see all the big fatties in the middle, and they're all moving the exact same way. Look at that synchronization of the offensive line there. Everybody getting out of their stance. All of their left hands go up in that interior line, and you just see them march to their right, opening up the hole. This scheme specifically, more so than duo, where we saw with Breece Hall, this running scheme allows for cutbacks. This is wide zone versus duo. So obviously, Brilin Allen sees this entire walled-off section. And a great job, again, by Lazard, just losing slowly in the box out to Enagbare. He hits that hole with determination, purpose. And if I'm 39 right now, there would be a brown stain on the back of my yellow pants, because I would be so scared of Brilin Allen running straight at me like this. Puts his head down. Oh, he had no chance. And unfortunately, 39 does get injured here. I think it was a knee injury. That right knee just kind of buckles. I don't know if it was a head injury, but either way, it's not a good look for the safety. Great look for the offensive line and Brilin Allen. Just elephants on parade. Brilin with a clean, easy, wide open hole to run through. So I love that play from the Jets O-line and Brilin Allen. Engstrand showing a little mix of power and zone run schemes, which I like. Play number 7. We have another pass play. They're in a 2x2. They're in wing right. So by now we should all be familiar with wing right. They got 2 tight ends attached to the line of scrimmage, and then they're going to run a stack on the top side of the screen with Reynolds and Wilson. get through it. They're going to shift Beck over into a 3-by-1 now. Now you have 3 to here, 1 to here with the nub of Jeremy Ruckert. Play action, hook sit, easy play. So we'll rewind and we'll draw it up. But again, another easy completion to Beck over the middle. If my computer would stop lagging. Okay, so we shifted Beck across. And now what Engstrand's going to have Beck do is come across in this motion like he's like split flow inside zone, right? And he looks like he's going to crack down on Rashawn Gary here. But instead, Beck comes across, fakes it, and just comes out into a little hook sit. And it's perfect. Then you have Garrett running this like clear out for Reynolds to come over into a dagger. So we'll play it through. See, you have Beck down here looking like he was attempting to block. Everybody kind of dropping back. Again, it looks like zone, maybe cover 3, but I believe they bring an extra blitzer. Yeah, they're bringing 5 blitzers here. So they have 3 underneath in coverage and 3 deep. But it looks like man coverage, excuse me, because Reynolds right here looks like man. This looks like man going across with Garrett Wilson. In my opinion, this linebacker has Isaiah Davis. This corner was just kind of floating to see what happens with this check release from Ruckert. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Isaiah Simmons is supposed to have Andrew Beck in man coverage. But watch what happens. So Beck is working out into his hook sit. Isaiah Simmons turns his head almost like he's the Tampa 2 linebacker, and he's just bailing out into the middle of the field. So I'm very confused at what Isaiah Simmons is doing, because now look how far away from the play he is. He has completely removed himself from his assignment of Andrew Beck, creating 6 yards of cushion. Again, an easy throw right down the line. Fields and him are in the same path, right between the hashes. There's nobody on Beck. Where do you want him to go with the ball? He's already loading up to throw, so you can't say he got to throw it to Garrett. He's already loading up to throw, so if we rewind it all the way to the point of where he's about to let go of the ball, right there, he's separating the ball from his hands. You can't tell, but his elbows start flaring out because he's about to separate. Sure, maybe there's a case to be made that he missed Garrett Wilson here. I'm not going to deny that, But when this is so wide open, right over the middle of the field in front of your face, just take the easy check down and move on. So, again, perhaps there's an element of Fields getting a little too fast through his progressions and missing some open things in the confines of the play. But if you're able to turn around and come back and get Beck wide open, Beck just caught the ball here. There's nobody over in his space. There's nobody at all. So it just turn, run, get a nice downfield block from Reynolds, easy 24 yards. And this, I'm not going to lie, watching it real time with Nick Shine on his channel, shout out to anybody who tuned in last week and anybody who's going to tune in tomorrow for our second watch party. I thought Josh Reynolds getting rolled up here, I thought it was done for 83. I'll be completely honest. I thought he got rolled up and he wasn't going to be playing anymore for the New York Jets. So I was a little scared there. We'll see from the end zone angle. You'll just see how wide open Beck is. I think the player that we should be focusing on for the Packers is 28, Isaiah Simmons. I think he's the one in the wrong. It looks like man across the board. And he looks like he's on Beck. And then all of a sudden he just drops way back into coverage. He's looking at Garrett Wilson right here, doing his clear out. But again, look at this pocket for Justin Fields. Multiple throws in a row now, Justin Fields has had absolutely no pressure on his throws. Do I expect that to stay the same? No, that's going to change, and it's probably going to change this weekend. So Let's take it with a grain of salt, but Fields having great protection on this drive is great to see. Like, I'm ecstatic for the fact that this offensive line did as well as they did, considering you even have a backup in Josh Myers. So he finds Beck, puts it on the right shoulder so he can turn around and go, gets a ton of yak after the catch. Big play for the Jets. Their second explosive on the drive. So they had the Allen run, and then they had the Beck pass play that were both explosives on that drive. This next play, we get Andrew Beck lined up in the backfield as a fullback. You have Rucker and Reynolds to the bottom. Garrett Wilson up top. Breece Hall once again in the backfield. Offset I formation. No surprise. Every play has it. They're going to use motion. The safety comes down in the box. Reynolds motions down into somewhat of a lead blocker, right? Like, he's just going to fill in this space. Beck is going to fill in this space. You have a duo block going on here with Tittman and Myers. You have a duo block here going on with AVT and Membu. You have Rucker getting out on Rashawn Gary. I believe Reynolds is supposed to wrap around and get to that second level safety. Beck is supposed to come in and clear the mic. And then Breece is supposed to just follow right up the ass of Andrew Beck. And I know that sounds funny, but I think that's exactly what was supposed to happen. Now, we get to it. It's a little bit muddy, but Andrew Beck plows into this linebacker, and it looks like he's about to fall on his ass. But Breece takes the hole between Fashanu and Tittman. I think he was supposed to follow behind Beck. That's just my opinion. I'm not in these meeting rooms. I don't know the playbook fully, but when I watched it from this angle, see, you have your duo blocks here. Duo block here. You have a solo on Fashanu here. Ruckert on a solo block here. I think Reynolds is coming in to clean up 33 or 56, and then Beck decleats McDuffie in the hole. So when I'm watching all this through, maybe because of the positioning of Breece Hall, like, this is exactly where he is when he gets the handoff, right? And if the coaching staff says, hey, just hit the hole that's in front of you, that would be the hole in front of them, right? He's doing his job. I don't know if this is exactly what he's being coached to do, but he's running through like color. He's running through a white jersey and a white jersey. It just doesn't seem to work for whatever reason. Kenny Clark gets off Josh Myers, which we can assume that's going to happen from time to time. And it just results in a 2 or 3 yard gain. So not the best play. It's really, run game schemes are difficult to understand, at least from my perspective, because I don't know what hole he's being told to hit. If he's told to hit that hole straight in front of him when he's getting the ball, that's the right one, right? We'll rewind it back real quick. He gets the ball here. He's right in line with Tittman and right on the left hip of Josh Myers. So that would be the hole he needs to hit. Can he do a better job of hitting it? Sure. Could he even get into this hole and work his way out? Perhaps. Maybe the Breece Hall of years past has done that. And I'm not going to blame the coaching staff for telling him to run differently and him being less effective. There's just too many different possibilities on a one-game sample size that I don't want to definitively blame one person or one specific thing on each play. But nonetheless, it's not the best run for Breece, and I think he could have found more yards on the play. Play number 9, we have 2 left here. This is a play action keeper delay from Justin Fields that turns into a scramble. So again, we have a stack down to the bottom. We got Ruckert in a sniffer formation on the left, and then Garrett as the lone receiver to the top, Breece in the backfield. They're going to, once again, motion the receiver. This time it's Tyler Johnson. He's going to motion down, and we've seen this motion twice now. Lazard did it on the box out. Reynolds just did it on the lead block. So now we have Tyler Johnson here kind of working against Rashawn Gary in one-on-one. Everybody's going from right to left in an outside zone motion. You see Breece Hall. He's pointed at the outside hip of Fashanu, which is a tell sign that this is outside zone. His landmark is the left hip of Fashanu. Justin pulls the play fake. Look at all these linebackers. All these linebackers are getting sucked down to the run. They're all committing to the run. You're going to get like a spray release corner from Josh Reynolds. You're going to get this little block and like a little release from Tyler Johnson where he just sits in the hole. And then you have Garrett coming across. I call this like a play action keeper delay. Sometimes you can run a play action slide off of this, right? So we'll back it up. Play action slide would be if Ruckert came across the formation into the flat. How many times did we see that happen last year and it wasn't completed? The Yeboah pass from Rodgers to Yeboah's ass was this type of play. Not the exact same, but that type of play. A naked keeper with a slide or a delay on that side. So Justin keeps it. You see Johnson just gets a nudge on Gary to get him out of his rush lane. Now he's just working the dead space, right? Johnson's just working the dead space right here as a check down for Fields. Perhaps Fields could have thrown it there, and maybe he gets tackled for a yard or two by Kenny Clark there. Garrett has 2 men occupied on him. Justin decides he's going to take off and run. Only gets a yard, but I like the decision rather than trying to throw a pass that's ill-advised across body to the middle of the field. Like if he makes that pass to Johnson here in this area, it's no gain. Like he's maybe getting the same amount of yards that Fields scrambled for. So I'm not entirely mad about this play. Fields just took what the defense gave him and was able to get out into the space and create with his legs, which I love seeing. Yo Holmes, naked keeper. Yeah, that's a good one. Everybody aspires to have a naked keeper, right? Absolutely. So Justin Fields there, 1 yard. Last play, the touchdown play. We're going to get, again, 3-by-1 condensed formation. You're going to get a bunch to the right, Reynolds to the left. They're going to, once again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but they're going to motion Garrett Wilson across the formation to a 2-by-2. And on this play specifically, Garrett is running a motion out. Ooh, that is an ugly out route. Come on. Out route. Okay. He is the primary read in the progression. Reynolds is running a corner to the back pylon. Ruckert is running a little shallow cross, I believe. No, Ruckert is running the basic. Ruckert runs this basic at like 12 yards, which is just an in cut. Johnson runs the shallow cross. So this is like drive concept here from Tyler Johnson and Jeremy Ruckert. And then you're going to get Isaiah Davis slipping into the flat, which becomes the famous I'm open, getting Isaiah McDuffie to run away from Justin Fields' scramble. So we'll play it through here. I'm going to pause it right there because, look, Garrett Wilson getting out of his break. It looks to me like Fields' vision is this side of the field, whether it's on Reynolds or Garrett. I'm not entirely sure. It could be more Reynolds than Garrett. But in my opinion, this ball needs to be thrown to Garrett Wilson. You have so much separation between him and Bullard. You have to make this throw. There's almost no excuses, and this is the one I will put on Justin Fields. I am happy that it still turned into a touchdown. Again, I'm not going to take that away from Fields, but I want to see this happen more often. I want to see Fields make this throw. He obviously does not. He opts to look away, and now he's looking in this area here. He's looking at the check down or possibly Ruckert coming across on the basic. Pressure gets to him a little bit. This is the muddiest pocket he saw all game, and it looks like he's about to get sacked, but he uses his athleticism to slip through the A-gap. Devonta Wyatt gets a hand on him. He's not allowed to. He just beats Keyshawn Nixon to the corner, and he runs to the pylon. Now, that's the Jets side of it. The Packers side of it is a miscommunication. That's all it comes down to. The Jets once again take advantage of the Packers' miscommunication. I'll go all the way back to the front of the play so we can see it. You have Keyshawn Nixon right here, number 25. He's like their nickel corner / I guess boundary corner. You have Edgerrin Cooper and Isaiah McDuffie here. You have the safety rolling down into the box. But Edgerrin Cooper right here, he's going to throw his hands up as soon as this play starts because he understands that the crosser from Isaiah Davis and Tyler Johnson are going to give the Packers two linebackers, and this cornerback here a little bit of a fit. So we'll play it. As soon as the snap is there, he sees Johnson coming behind Ruckert on a shallow cross right here. He throws his hand up, and he's trying to get the attention of Keyshawn Nixon to tell him to stay over here on your side. You will occupy the crosser coming across. Isaiah McDuffie will pick up this crosser, and Edgerrin Cooper will be the middle of the field defender who's supposed to tackle Justin Fields in the open field. Unfortunately, Keyshawn Nixon doesn't listen. He stays attached to Tyler Johnson. And then when he realizes it, see, Cooper is still trying to tell him to stop. Cooper then runs with Johnson. McDuffie runs with Davis. And then you have Keyshawn Nixon versus Justin Fields one-on-one in the hole. And it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. That guy's not going to be able to tackle Justin Fields. He might be able to slow him down. But right here, this linebacker number 56 and 25 were switched places. This might not be a touchdown for the Jets. And this might be a field goal attempt or a potential 4th and short situation that the Jets go for. You see the sticks right here at the 8-yard line. The defender's sitting about the 9.5-yard line. If that's Edgerrin Cooper, in my opinion, yes, he's slower than Keyshawn Nixon. Don't get me wrong, but I think he's going to come up and play that tackle a lot better. Justin Fields just completely eliminates the angle for Nixon to run. And then there's no way 27 was going to beat him to the pylon. So I love this from Justin Fields. I didn't love the fact that he missed the motion out to Garrett. I thought that he could have done a better job with that. Again, nitpicking a little bit here. But that athleticism, man, like, come on. When's the last time we've seen a quarterback who has the ability to get skinny through the hole like this? This savvy ball movement. Look, the ball is on his right side. Devonta Wyatt comes in with a swipe. Fields tucks the ball to his left side, puts it high and away where the kids can't get it, rips off the arm tackle. And now, look, if you're Keyshawn Nixon, you're screwed. He just cut off the angle completely. There's no way many people are going to beat Justin Fields to the corner in this situation. So the Jets take advantage of a miscommunication by the Packers defense, and it results in a touchdown. I would be remiss if we didn't talk about this part of the play from Isaiah Davis, where he just turns and runs upfield, taking his defender with him. I think it's genius. It's what you want, even from a third stringer, to be able to, hey, I see you. I'm looking at you for the check down here. My eyes are back on you. Isaiah McDuffie is starting to wonder right here. Look, his eyes are back at Fields. Is he going to take off and run? What's he going to do? So right here, technically, Justin Fields is past the line of scrimmage. But Isaiah McDuffie doesn't understand that completely. So he goes back to look at Isaiah Davis, who's turning upfield now. And now Justin is completely in scramble mode. he's looking back at him, but Isaiah Davis is running up the field. So Isaiah McDuffie has no choice but to turn and run with him. And then you get the, oh, I got it. Like this to me is just super heads up awareness from Isaiah Davis. The reason that the entire play even happened, because if McDuffie knew that Fields wasn't running, it wouldn't have resulted in a touchdown. It just wouldn't have been as flashy or as successful as the play as it would have been if McDuffie stopped running right here at the 10-yard line, turned around, squared up, and got ready for a tackle. Fields would have to split Nixon and McDuffie. He would never be able to get to the pylon. Those safeties over the top would have been able to come in and help and support, make the tackle. But Fields gets out, and he's able to get into the end zone. So a lot to take out of that, and I understand if maybe I'm not doing the best job of describing every play. This is just how I saw it, both in real time and my rewatches. I've now done 2 different rewatches. I watched the broadcast angle, and then I've watched the all 22 of the starters. A lot of things to be impressed with. A couple things that I'm a little weary about, right? The Fields to Wilson connection, Breece Hall and the offensive line blocks. I still want to maintain that Breece is doing what he's being asked to do. I just don't think that the plays were as successful for other reasons. That's just my opinion. Maybe that's making too much of an excuse for Breece Hall, but I don't think Breece Hall is going to get traded, guys. Like we're not there yet. We're not even close to there. If we were going to do it, we were going to do it in March when the whole hype around Breece Hall and what the odds of him being traded were back in March. And then AG obviously called Breece and said, hey, you're our running back. You're our guy. And then from there, his role has grown. He is now weapon 2, in my opinion. That's just the label that I give Breece, is weapon 2. So I'm really excited for this offense. And although it wasn't a perfect first drive, the fact that your first drive had only one play of 0 or negative yards, and that was the incompletion to Garrett, right? And we went through it. It could have been Garrett. It could have been Fields. You had 2 explosive plays, or 3 explosive plays, excuse me. The Breece Allen or Brilin Allen run for 14, the Andrew Beck catch for 24, and then the Justin Fields run for 13. Those are all explosive plays. So I'm very encouraged by the things that we did see from the offense, the players. I'm very, very encouraged by the things that I saw from Tanner Engstrand and the coaching staff. Bunches, stacks, shifts, motions, condensed formations, a lot of the formations looking similar, but having a different post-snap outcome, right? The structure and the bones of each play look very similar, but then when you call hike, all of a sudden that outside zone run is a play action keeper, and Justin Fields is out of the pocket on the move, and you don't know if you got to occupy him with a QB spy type of linebacker or safety, or if you need to play really good coverage on the back end and just allow him to get those couple yards running. So I'm really intrigued by more of Tanner Engstrand's scheming, we'll just call it the scheming of the offense so far. And that's what gets me encouraged, is that even though the talent may not be as great as, the Cincinnati Bengals offense, if you can scheme guys open to this degree, I think you have success in this league. Do I want to see him stretch the ball more? Yes. I want to see a deep shot to Garrett or to Reynolds or even Arian Smith. I do want to see that this game for sure. I'm almost expecting to see that this game, because that's building off of hitting your checkdowns. Now you just go for the full send on the deep pass. So with that, that's the end of the film review. I'm going to turn over to a couple questions in the chat. So fill up the chat with your questions and comments about my film review. I will get to them. I'm scrolling all the way back up to the top, and I'm not going to miss any of them this time, I promise. We'll hang out for about another half hour or so. I don't remember. It's 7 o'clock. I don't remember what time Jets Worldwide goes on, but I don't want to overlap with them. So I will probably hang out for about a half hour. There are exactly 69 of you in the room right now. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit the like button if you like the film breakdown. There will be a lot more of these coming out, specifically about Fields and the offense. I'm really excited to get into the the drawing up of the plays. I play charted, as if you guys tune into my Monday stream, I've already play charted all of Fields' offensive plays. Really excited about that. And I think this year is going to be really special for this offense. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. Like this video, please subscribe. We're at 720 something subscribers, trying to get to 1,000 by the opening day game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think we can do it. I'm also about 500 watch hours away from being able to have memberships, so you guys can officially become A1s since day one. And we're going to do super chats. Obviously, we're going to open up a potential DT merch store, and I'll get some of the t-shirts out to you guys. I have in the works the first 10 t-shirts, I believe, are being made now. So really excited to get that ball rolling with the t-shirts. So with that, I'll go into your comments. Go all the way back up to the top. Gil, what's up, man? Appreciate you tuning in. Shane says, keep up the good work, champ. Doing a great job. Big things for you in this community of the Jets nerds. Let's go. Glenn is the truth. Keep breaking it down for us, dude. Yeah, I appreciate that, Shane. And I've said this a couple times now. The more success the Jets have, I think the bigger this community is going to grow. And I love what this community has already brought to the channel. I've seen a lot of new faces. Shane, you are a new commenter. I don't believe I've seen you in the chat before. So I really appreciate the kind words, and I'm really excited for this season. If the Jets are even slightly good, a lot of us content creators on this side of it are going to see a lot more of people like Shane and everybody else who's in the chat, always super positive. Not everything's going to be great. There's going to be negatives, and we're going to have to talk through it, right? But I love the fact that if things go right, a lot of us are going to, succeed in this market, and it's just going to mean even better content. If you think the content that we're giving you guys now is good, I can't imagine what it's going to look like if the Jets are 4-4 at the bye week. And like Matt O'Leary's putting out great content, Ian from Jet Central, Jake, of course, me and Buffalo Jet fan putting out our content, Boy Green. Like, it's just going to be flooded with such good content that I'm really excited for what this season holds for us. Happy to be here on my own channel for the first season. Let's see what else we got. Peter, appreciate you always. I'm not there yet with 11-6, but I think by like the beginning of the season, I might be at 8 wins for this team, depending on what we see the next 2 preseason games. I'm at 7 wins right now, but I think I can get up to 8. So really excited for that. Was that snap too quick? I don't remember which play this was. Maybe this was the first or second play. There's also the element of that, right? Is the snap messing up the timing of these plays? Does having a rotating battle at center, affect the timing of the plays? Yeah, absolutely. If Tippmann, hypothetically, from shotgun, if Tippmann throws a faster snap and Myers kind of lollipops it in there, or vice versa, it's probably going to throw off the timing of your play. So literally every small nuance is going to become an element of timing in this offense. And when you have a very timing-based offense, more things need to be in sync than not. So that might be a good call out too, Jets Worldwide. And that's something I'll look for coming up against the Giants. Do these guys snap the ball a little too fast or maybe even a little too slow? So I appreciate that call out there, Jets Worldwide. Allen, yes, I'm sure you saw it. If you hung around long enough, I did show the out route to Garrett, and that's why this team will be drafting a quarterback in round 1 in 8 months. Sure, I think there is a very reasonable argument to be made that Justin Fields doesn't get the job done, and they look for a quarterback in the first round. I will not dispute that. Would I like that? No. I want Justin Fields to prove that he can at least be the guy for the next 2 to 3 years, and then you can go address wide receiver, defensive tackle, something else in the draft, right? Defensive end. Like, I want something else other than quarterback in round 1. But yes, to your point, that would be the overwhelming majority of my thoughts if Justin Fields can't get the job done. But like I said, was that Fields throwing a bad pass or was that Garrett running too deep of a route? I don't know for sure. Stick concept, I think they're supposed to run at the same depth. So Garrett has a flair about him when he runs his routes. Engstrand has alluded to this in his own press conferences, and he's said Garrett is able to do the flashy stuff when we tell him to. But there are routes where you just need to get to your landmark and get the ball. I'm not going to excuse or blame either party, Fields or Wilson, for that out route, but I don't like the fact that it hasn't connected yet. And Fields, to be fair, Fields should have thrown the one on the touchdown pass. He should have thrown the out route to Garrett Wilson on the touchdown pass. All right, let's see. I assume Jets, this is about, just for a while, this is about the yellow circle that wouldn't go away. I should have made it a smiley face. That's a good one. Yeah, smack the like if you're here. I appreciate everybody tuning in. You guys are, I can't express how great you guys are with your comments and things like that. Bill M, smack the hole. Yep, that's all you got to do. Just smack it. Don't dance, don't play. Just hit it, and please don't run into Jeremy Ruckert's hip the next time you run through the hole. Box manipulation needs work. I might need a little bit more clarification from you, Rich. Box manipulation on whose part, as my camera just goes out? Is it box manipulation on the quarterback or the motion, or just, I guess, just elaborate your thoughts on that one as I try to get my camera back. John, unbelievable how we are coddling this dude. Allen is better. Okay, so that's a lot to break down. I think Breece is going to be the better overall player. Damn, this camera's really messing me up. I think Breece is going to be the better overall player, but Allen might be the better runner, and that's okay. Like, you have to have guys with differentiating skill sets that do different things for your offense. Give me 1 second. I'm going to play my intro one more time and try to get my camera fixed. So just give me 30 seconds.
We want you to bring that here, all right? Go out there and press him and choke him out.
All right, we're back. I'm a little bit more clear. Sorry about that. Trying to figure out this webcam. Probably just going to end up buying a new one because there is no autofocus on this crappy webcam that I have. Jets Worldwide again. Looks like Justin has more time than he thinks. Again, that's all part of the timing, right? If he doesn't think the timing of the pass protection is going to hold up, then he's going to be more accelerated through his motions. So maybe he didn't think there was enough time on that play. You're absolutely right. Bill M, great protection. Magnum style, baby. Boomtown. Oh, baby. Appreciate having you here, Boomtown. Yeah, that's a good point, Jets Worldwide. It could be nerves. I definitely think that this weekend he is not going to have that time. You're absolutely right. These guys are going to be on his ass in 2.5 seconds. He's going to have to get the ball out quick. I would assume that means more checkdowns, potentially screen plays, quick game passing, trying to eliminate that fierce pass rush of the Giants. So, yeah, I do think there is nerves and a little bit of rust shaking off in all of this as well. Stack, hit the like. It's free. Absolutely. Don't make Stack mad. We got to get these likes up now. Yep, that's what I was saying before, Worldwide. Yep, attention to detail by the wide receiver. I think that's a big element of it. I'm not going to, kill Garrett Wilson for it, but I do think that that's an element of it, and that's why he didn't have a ton of success with Aaron Rodgers. Maybe obviously Aaron Rodgers is too meticulous on how he wants his routes run, but it's a 4-time MVP, future Hall of Famer. So honestly, if I was Garrett Wilson and my quarterback told me not to do that, I just wouldn't fucking do it, to be honest. Indy, happy to have you in here. I appreciate you. I love this whole DT with the plane emoji in the middle. I believe Rich started it. Maybe it wasn't Rich, but I see Rich doing it a lot. I love that. So just flood the chat with the DT with the plane emoji in the middle. Looks like Ruckert was supposed to run a dig. I think Ruckert got in the way of the throw. Steven, I don't know exactly which play you're talking about. I probably should have paid attention while I was going through it to see your comment. But if you tell me which play it was, I can go back and look at it and see if Ruckert got in the way. But I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think Ruckert does a lot of things well on this offense so far, and he's been out of position even in drills. He ran behind the dummies in a drill at practice when every other tight end ran in front of the dummies, caught the ball, and then ran through the dummies. Jeremy Ruckert decided he's going to go on the other side of the dummies, and nobody threw him a pass because he was in the wrong. Let's see what else we got here. I don't know what this means, Bill M. Fields needs to CHFD. I couldn't tell you what that means, but maybe you're onto something. Yeah, he could have climbed the pocket a couple times to add more time to the play, for sure. And that's all going to come within, time on task, right? Once he realizes his offensive line is going to hold up that extra half second, maybe it gives him the confidence to step up, keep his eyes downfield, and make the throw. But it seems like whenever he tries to break the pocket, his eyes are a little down, maybe not so much on the rush, but on his run lane, and he doesn't see the guys come open downfield. Let's see what else we got here. Jersey Jet in the chat. I appreciate you tuning in. I assume this is Brilin Allen. His vision was on point there. It was a very good showing from Brilin Allen. Yeah, he sold it, right? He sold it, Snowball, to look like he was going to follow right off the right side hip of Armand Membu, which is his landmark aiming point in outside zone. And then he wisely cut it up because he saw just how well Fashanu and Tittman and Myers collapsed from that left side of the line. Palicard. No, I don't remember Brandon Jacobs versus LaRon Landry, but holy shit, if there's ever more muscle in two guys in Brandon Jacobs and LaRon Landry, those guys were both absolutely jacked. Indy, hit the damn like. Absolutely. Get those likes up. Thumbs up all around. Appreciate it. Always. You guys are the best. And we're going to get better. We're going to, we're knocking off the rust with these film reviews. I've only done a couple college film reviews, so this is the first live NFL film review setting that I did. So it's probably just going to get better from here as I understand more about my pen and learn how to work the technology. Yo, Holmes, I see you in the chat. I appreciate you. Jersey Jet says spin move or jump cut that Breece. Yeah, again, like I said, I don't know if it's the coaching telling him to just hit the hole or what the case is, right? If I could be a fly on that wall in the offensive meeting room, I would love to hear what their teaching points are for Breece Hall, but I'm not going to worry. It's one game. He had 3 carries. He still averaged 3 yards per carry. Obviously, Brilin Allen averaging like 4.1 yards per carry is much better. But we see the clips of Breece in practice. He caught the shallow cross moving from right to left, put his foot in the ground, turned and cut up field, and the linebacker had no chance. He gained an extra 15 to 20 yards, might have even scored on the play. So I like what I've seen from Breece in the practice settings. Gator, well done, DT. I appreciate you tuning in, Gator. You are the GOAT. Oh, everybody's talking about the naked keeper here from Yo Holmes. Now we're interested in Yo Holmes' naked keeper. All right, let's scroll through there, find more Jets talk. Soap Dish 3. JETS mess. I didn't see it. I didn't see the mess. Like I said, there were a couple hiccups and a couple things that I would like to see changed moving forward, but 10 plays, 79 yards, three nice passes from Justin Fields. Yes, he missed the one. He averaged like 14 yards per attempt, or 14 yards per completion, excuse me. Had a nice 13-yard rushing touchdown. Blocking was great. I don't think it was a mess at all. Robin, Boy Wonders, appreciate you, man. Good job by Davis. Dylan, good job. I think it was a better job by Isaiah Davis, if I'm just being honest. I think he did a better job than I did, but thank you. Indy Jets, that breakdown was great. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate that, Indy. And I appreciate all your work. We'll call it off the field work with getting these T-shirts out. You're truly the man for that. I appreciate that. Yo Holmes, he caught it. 69 in the chat. Now we're up to 82. So we've got a little bit of a viewership spike. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Obviously, we did the film review for the first hour of the show. So if you want to go back and rewatch that, you can. But hit the like button, please. Subscribe if you're new. I didn't make this a subscriber-only chat, so that's why maybe there's a couple new names in here. But please consider subscribing. We're just 500 hours away from being monetized. It might even be a little bit less than that now. We might even be close to 400. Stack says in the chat 727 subs. Yeah, we're close. So I'm really excited to get to that 1,000 mark and really start getting monetized and just bringing more elements to the channel that you guys are really going to appreciate. Allen with a college football chat. Watching SEC football any given Saturday on Netflix. Definitely intrigued by Nussmeier and Sellers off of good but not all world years. Yeah, I still owe the Garrett Nussmeier film to the channel. I'm still really bummed that my Drew Aller one just got completely shredded by YouTube. Like you can't even, it's not even watchable. Like they took out all the good parts of it. I don't want that to happen to Garrett Nussmeier because I want to give the film review its full justice, I guess to call it. But I am really intrigued. I started watching maybe the first half of one of his games, and I was actually really intrigued by the way he can spin it. I don't want to have to put this chat up here, but he is a subscriber. Tom Brady 12, aka Patriots 12, aka 6 rings. We will ruin the Raiders week 1. LeBron meme. I don't know what that's supposed to say, but congrats. I don't think you're going to win, honestly, though. I think the Raiders are a better team. Geno Smith and Ashton Jeanty is a pretty decent combination. Indy Jets. Yeah, so maybe we can eventually do this, take this a little bit of an element from Nick Shine and do the what did we learn. Yeah, you guys are always welcome to let me know what you guys learned. I don't know if I'll make it a full segment like Nick does at the end of his shows, but yeah, if you want to put in what you learned, absolutely, we can discuss. I always want to come across informed so that I can continue informing you guys, absolutely. Bill M., this is a really good question. DT, what can Charles London do to help Fields on his pocket presence, i.e. throwing it too quick? Well, like I mentioned in the film breakdown, I do think there is an element of Justin Fields potentially going too fast through his drop back set. And by the time he gets to his back foot ready to throw, none of his receivers are turning to look, and they're not really out of their break. They're still stemming their routes, right? So I'm really intrigued to see how Fields' footwork specifically looks against the Giants. Like I said, he's probably going to have less time to throw. So maybe an accelerated drop back, get to your landmark and throw will help him against the team like the Giants. But also you need your wide receivers looking at you if you're going to throw it. So I think Charles London, although he was like a kind of average quarterbacks coach in his career, between him and Scott Turner and Tanner Engstrand, they're probably going to try to slow up Justin Fields' footwork so that by the time he gets to that 3-step or 5-step or 7-step drop, whatever it is, somebody's looking for that pass. No, Patriots 12, I don't think you do. Sorry. Although I did draft Travion Henderson in my Dynasty League, and I'm pretty excited about that. I just don't see it. I mean, I like Drake May. I like a couple of their pieces. Too many unknowns in Mike Vrabel's, team so far. And Mike Vrabel needs to stop jumping into the pile between fights of guys that are 20 years younger than him. Come on. Stack, that's cool if you know Lenora Sellers' family. That's awesome. I'm thinking about buying a Lenora Sellers autographed jersey because I do plan on going to the Palmetto Bowl between Clemson and South Carolina if I can afford it. Those tickets are already astronomical. I think it's like $230 or $240 to go to the game and sit in the nosebleeds in Columbia. So Not sure. Yo, Holmes, I just got off the golf course. What did I learn? I learned my golf game still blows. Yeah, man, there's those days, right? I shot my best score 94 the other day at one of my favorite courses here in Spartanburg, and then I went and played a course in Greensboro, North Carolina with my brother, uncle, and his son. It was not good. I shot like a 58 over the front nine. It was ugly. It was rainy too. I never like to make excuses for my golf game. It was just a bad day. Bad day around the green. I was not doing well chipping. I was doing well with my drives and my approach shots, but couldn't get it around the green and do it well. Ooh, seems like putting was your issue, Yo Holmes. That's unfortunate. Speed over read is all I can give you as my advice. You'd rather have the speed than the read. If you have the right speed, you can land it within a foot or two of the hole and have yourself a nice tap in putt. But if you don't read it right, if you don't read it right, it's fine. But if you read it right and your speed is wrong, you could sail that thing 6-7 feet past the hole. Stack, I tried. I went through all the settings on this Logitech. Maybe it's my MacBook that won't let me find the settings of the Logitech, but I even downloaded their app onto my computer and I tried to figure it all out. I don't know. I have to figure it out. I have to also stop leaning closer to the camera when I'm doing it. That's definitely my fault there. I feel like this is a really bad thing, but maybe this is when I was just blurry for a little bit. Maybe that is what Gase sees, because clearly he couldn't see much outside of the opening drive script for the Jets. Allen, I'm sure that's very fascinating to watch. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate it. I tried to fix it. I'm still a little blurry. I can see it, but I'm not nearly as bad. Indy, 100%. I am a face made for radio. Yeah, absolutely. Like BJF said, I'm smarter than him, but he's more handsome than I am. So I won't push back on BJF if that's his claim there. Bill M, dude, somebody got into my indica right there and made my camera real bad. I'll be getting into that after this stream. Party with Beck and Artie. Couldn't chat. I was eating codfish. Great breakdown, DT. Hey, you got to eat. I'm glad that you've brought me to your dinner table or your eating area, so to speak, while you're eating. If you're watching me, that's great. So I really appreciate that, Peg and Artie. There it is. You guys are awesome. DT with the plane in the middle. Bill M and Stack. Artie says my golf game blows too. That's all right. We will we'll have to do some kind of meetup for golf sometime with everybody. That would be fantastic. Oh, Yo Holmes putting a special spin on the DT. That's okay. That's okay, Yo Holmes. I like you too. It's all right. We can all get along here. Jersey Jet says, I don't know who was streaking down the right side, even though the receiver wasn't looking at it, was still a deep enough pattern to spin it and let him locate the ball. Yeah, no. So again, that's all part of it. But again, if Fields is getting to the back of his drop in a timing-based offense, it wouldn't make sense for him to try to do that. So I'm going to give it a couple more games to see if that irons itself out, right? If he actually throws the deeper patterns, if his footwork is lined up to where back of the drop, somebody's breaking and looking and getting open. But yeah, there's definitely the element of he could have thrown it and the guy would have been able to get underneath it and locate it. Yeah, absolutely. Again, I'm not going to pinpoint and perfectly place blame on one person or not. I don't know. I'm not that guy. I'm not in the meeting room. So I'm just going to tell you all the different layers of my opinion and what goes into a play and just how much one little thing can affect each play individually. That's why offense is so hard. Danger zone. Shout out Dano. I appreciate you. DT got the bluest eyes in the biz. Yeah, man. I mean, Sometimes they turn like gray, green, depending on what I'm wearing. But it seems like whenever I wear black, it definitely pops the blue out there. And I have the blackest eyes. That's funny, Dana. You do have some really dark eyes when I watch your streams. You and Murph, you guys do a great job. Everybody go subscribe to Dano. He does awesome live streams, like 3-4 hour live streams. You guys are committed to the grind. I absolutely love it. Oh, he needed to calm his freaky down. That's what that meant. Haha, I'm learning these acronyms. Yo, Holmes. Brilin Allen is 6'2", 240. That's like having prime Mr. Olympia Arnold Schwarzenegger at tailback running a 4.4. Yeah. I mean, that's basically what we got back there is a chiseled, rocked up running back who's just going to plow through all the safeties that try to come downhill and fight him. Absolutely not. Absolutely not, Dano. Me and Mets 2128 will not collab in the future. I don't feel like being called the son of a bitch. I'm not a Mets fan either, so erroneous on all counts. I think it's the other way around, Robin. I don't think he's boycotting me. I also feel like I actively do my best to not get beast on this channel. I don't care for it. I'd rather sit here and talk Jets or golf or other meaningful life things. I don't need to tell you about my achievements in field hockey and putt-putt. Indy, you ask a good question. Who's the first guest going to be when we can super chat? It certainly won't be Beast. I can pretty much guarantee that Joe Namath style. Maybe it'll be you, Indy. I'm not sure. It might be you, Indy. Justin comes in from Twitter with a comment. Appreciate you, Justin. Less than 24 hours till game time. Hell yeah, man. I'm fired up. Me and Nick Shiner going live on his channel 6:30 or 6:45, I believe, is when, because the game starts at 7. So we're going to hop in there like 15, 20 minutes before the game. Make sure all our technology is synced up and in rhythm with each other so that I'm not ahead of him or vice versa. So yeah, come check us out 6:30 or 6:45 at the Nick Shine Show YouTube channel tomorrow night if that's something you're interested in. So Jets Worldwide, you become a channel member by watching 500 more hours of my shows, and then we meet the threshold that Mr. YouTube asks of me in order to get the memberships and super chats. I don't know what the price is going to be for these memberships, but honestly, if I can make it $1.99 or, even a little cheaper, honestly, like I'm just going to make it as cheap as possible for you guys, just because I don't think it's not necessarily a $5 thing, right? I don't know. Memberships to me are going to be a work in progress as we go, but it's not going to be expensive. Like $1.99. If I can make your channel memberships, I'll definitely do that. And you guys are going to get tons of film breakdowns. Like this film breakdown, all 10 plays. If this was a setting where I had the membership availability, I would have probably done all 10 plays on the membership platform. And then I would have done 3 or 4 for the regular non-members, right? So that's what you're going to probably come to expect with the film breakdowns, is you're going to get a lot more out of the film breakdown with members only. They're probably going to have to be pre-recorded and not live shows, but at the same time, I think that's going to be cool. Charleston Jetsrube, DT live, woohoo! I appreciate you, man. I know you're probably sitting naked on your porch smoking a cigarette watching this, so I appreciate you tuning in. Yo, Holmes. Yeah, you got to be cool, Snowball. That's really all it comes down to. You just got to be cool. Then you can become an A1 since day one. All right. Sharon, I love you, Sharon. I appreciate all your kind words and all of my comments and live streams. You are truly amazing. All about timing. 100%. It's all about timing. I'm going to keep stressing that every time I talk about the film. It's all about timing. Get to the back of your drop. See the guy open. Throw it. Don't hesitate. If the offensive line holds up, it's going to be perfect for this offense. Charleston, I don't know if this is directed at me or to Peg and Artie in the chat because I saw you guys talking a little bit, but I will be in Tampa as well. I'm hoping to fly in Saturday morning, see everybody at the meetup, and then go back to the Riverwalk Hotel or whatever it's called and keep the party going, right? See Artie and all his bikinis down at the pool. That'll be fun. Another good question from Dano. Dylan, what Jets are you lower on than consensus? Okay, let me pull up the roster. There's certainly a couple players that I feel like I'm not so high on. Let's see. I guess I would say I'm not as high on the tight end room as most. I put them as like one of my lower position groups a couple weeks ago. I still maintain that. I think Mason Taylor can be really good, but I don't see the appeal with Jeremy Ruckert and Stone Smart. Like if we didn't have Andrew Beck, we might be screwed in that room, to be completely honest. So I would just say the tight end room as a whole. I don't think many people are high on Tony Adams, so I would say that's kind of a given of an answer. And maybe just because we haven't seen it, I don't think I'm as high on Byron Cowart as maybe the consensus is. I feel like everybody sees Cowart flashing in practice via tweets, and we didn't see him in the game, and everybody's like, oh, yeah, he's defensive interior next to Quinnen. And I don't know if that's necessarily going to pan out that way or he's going to be that good because J2 Fele is really good. So maybe Byron Cowart would be the answer there, but there's not that many guys I feel like I'm crazy low on with this team. I mean, there's guys I just don't like Tony Adams, but I feel like not many people on the team like Tony Adams. Yeah, Jets Worldwide, I'm going to throw this thing out as soon as I get the chance. It's pissing me off. Alan, if Iowa loses to Rutgers, I mean, the fact that that's even like a possibility is just bad. Big Will, shout out to you. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before. Roger sabotaged the run for his own stats. If he didn't like you, you were done. I feel Breece will be fine. Yeah, I think that's a huge element of it. He threw the second most pass attempts in the NFL last year. And I think it was Joe Burrow who threw more than him, but it wasn't by many. He had 3 more pass attempts than Patrick Mahomes. So, and a lot of the 5 or 6 names underneath Rodgers that had less pass attempts had more yards. So, oh, Alan, you're going to South Carolina's game 2 weeks before they play Clemson. That's awesome. I don't know who their opponent is in that game, but that'll be cool. Stack giving me the 8-minute warning for Snowball and Johnny Boy on their Friday stream. So we are going to wrap it up. I don't want to overlap with them. Let me just scroll down to the bottom and see if I missed any questions, comments. Oh, you're going to Texas A&M versus South Carolina. That'll be fun. Jets Rube says Fields throws a beautiful deep ball, always a tight spiral. Yeah, I think that's one of his calling cards is his arm strength and the ball placement on the deep throws. I think that's one of the things I really liked about him coming out of Ohio State. Indy, high 4. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to wrap up in just a few seconds. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody's chats. I don't believe I have. Dano says, I have a feeling Dylan will offer something other than Discord access. Yeah, I'm not a huge Discord person, so I'm in a couple of these Discords, but I'm not very active. I chat when I can, but I just forget about it. It's like the social media that I forget about. I just naturally default to Instagram for like reels and then Twitter for actual football content. Bernard Varner, wanted to get your chat in here because I haven't seen your name pop up before. Never seen a quarterback make every throw. It doesn't happen. Exactly. Fields isn't going to be perfect. We should not expect perfection out of him. I certainly will party with you guys in Tampa. Maybe we'll get rowdy and we'll take our shirts off in inspiration of you, Jets Rube. But I know it's going to be hot as fuck down there in Tampa, even though it's like the last week of September. It's still going to be hot and humid. All right. Oh, Jets Rube with a prediction, 31-23 Jets on Saturday. I will have some kind of preview video coming out maybe Saturday morning. Maybe I'll just go smoke and come back and record my preview video for you guys so that it comes out tomorrow. I do have to work tomorrow, so maybe not. Maybe it's not a guarantee that there's a preview show, but Sunday morning at 10 a.m., me and Emery Hunt of Football Game Plan, we will be live on this channel recapping everything. Like I said at the top, he was at Jets and Giants practice in person, both practices this week. We're going to break down the week of practice also and the game. So really excited to have Emery on. He's one of the most comprehensive draft guys that I've ever, really talked to. I've got the pleasure of meeting him at the Senior Bowl a couple times. He's been a almost yearly guest on Jet Nation when Glenn and I were doing it. So I know he went on with Glenn a couple weeks ago, like shortly after the draft, I think he was on. So I'm really excited to get Emery Hunt and his opinions on the show. I think you guys are really going to appreciate that too. With that, one more question, Yo Holmes. Dylan, are you going to the Cowboys game? No, I'm going to Pittsburgh week 1 with my cousin, who is a Steelers fan. So definitely throw all your food at her while we're there. And then I'll be going to Tampa in week 3. So unfortunately, no Dallas Cowboys week 5. All right. With that, I'm wrapping it up. I know Snowball and Johnny Boy are going on live. If not, they're already live. 91 people in the room currently, so I don't want to say goodbye to all of you, but I have to. I appreciate it. Please hit the thumbs up on your way out. Consider subscribing. We're trying to get to 1,000 before the season opener, before the Jets sack the shit out of Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I appreciate it. I will be back Sunday morning at the very latest with Emery Hunt, but you may get a preview depending on what I have time for tomorrow before the game. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm Dylan DTereman. Once again, like and subscribe. And until next time, let's go Jets.